Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, Greece Vacation Edition with Bernard Tourillon, CEO of HPQ Silicon. The news is so big that I'm doing this via phone to talk to Bernard. And the big news that we're talking about today, Fumed Silica samples are ready to be sent to third parties. Bernard, welcome back, my friend, and hello from Greece.
Hello. Hope it's not too hot there.
No, nighttime's perfect. No heat dome here, so this is a perfect time to do this. Hey, question for you right off the bat.
Yeah.
Ready to send. Why ready to send as opposed to waiting until they've been sent?
Sort of two like we issued a press release. We issued a press release saying we signed an NDA, we were going to send material. Okay. So that was a few weeks ago. So we had to come up with an update, be able to do, and we really had to be able to communicate that in a way that, you know, we don't leak the information before. So sending that material could be material or not. So we decided to be more cautious than not and just issue the material ready to send. But, you know, it's a question of days now before they're going to be sent. As they say, they're ready to be sent, literally ready to be sent. They were made and see what happened is, you know, immediately after you know, we were ready to do this, and just before we issued the press release, I contacted my contact at the company that was interested in the material, and I said, okay, we're ready, we have some material, how much you want? And they just told us great news, excited about it, and this is what we want, and this is the address where you have to ship it. That was it. So
fair to say that reaction to the news initially has been pretty positive, obviously, but any more expressions of interest? Because it's been a bit now. Any more expressions of interest? Because I always like to hear about. I always ask you these things. Is the phone ringing? Yeah, well, you know, the internet sort of ringing. What's very interesting is we communicate a lot about what we do, and you know, some people sometimes wonder why we do this, because in this day and age, people do research on what happens. And what I can tell you, without getting too much into detail, is that we got a second request for samples from another big player. So we're going to be starting the same typical procedures, you know, getting the NDA signed and sending the material. So this is extremely positive because 24 hours after the press release, it came out. So it's very positive. I know you can't give us specifics, but what's the nature of the kind of companies or company, the new one that's reached out? If you can, is it, you know, George Combe Fume Silica from Greece, or is it maybe somebody a little more substantial? Can you at least give us the kind of profile of who's knocking?
I'll just say this: the market caps of these companies are in the billions.
Okay, that's impressive.
That's about all what I can say. I don't want to say more. I don't want to look at it. We're just at the start, but the fact is that, you know, their R&D department says, oh, we want to test your material. And we're very confident that the material we made is very good. So
what is it that's attracting their attention at the end? You know, is it, what specifically kind of feedback are you getting that's attracting their attention?
Okay. The primary feedback there is, oh, there's this competitor, there's this new technology that's doing the material. Okay. As I've said many times, what we only need to do in the fume silica part of our part of our business is match what's available out there, because the inherent technology advantages that we have are sellers by themselves. Okay. As I said in the press release, our feedstock we use is quartz, which is what, maybe $100 a ton, and they're using 2N silicone, which in Q1 when I bought the ton was selling for about $6,000 to $7,000. Anyway, the price.
Check those notes.
Well, I just.
And now
I know somebody's going to come and say to me, "Oh, you didn't get the right number." Blah 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 blah. So I'm just going to go through it. Yeah, $7. Yeah, $7 a kilogram that we pay.
So when you say
if you buy more, you're going to get a bit you know, bit more discount. If you buy by 1 ton, it's like, for them, it's like it's no order really, but still.
So when you say this is a company maker, you actually potential company maker in the press release, what is that some investors And we're talking about the FUD. We always have to kind of address that a little bit because we want to make sure it's your words out there, not somebody. What should the investors know? What are those FUD investors missing when you say this is a potential company maker on its own?
Well, no, what they're not really missing anything. They know that this is very, very good what we have. Facts are, they like to twist facts around. And by the way, what I said was this can be a standalone business, and I stand by this. And I said this in 2021. 2021, when we signed the deal for Fumed Silica, I said I ran some preliminary numbers, which I reran now. And based on that, at that time, I think at that time we had a higher market cap. I said just the Fumed Silica side of the business can't support the market cap of the company based on, I think the number what I'm looking at is taking about a 3% market share or 1% market share. So it's very, very small part of the business. It can support it. And I'm very, very confident. So what I'm saying is like HPQ has 3 initiatives that it's really pushing. It's silicone metal initiative, which is the QRR, which is making green silicone. Within this, we have the silicone for battery, but really the silicone initiative is that. We have the Fume Silica initiative, which is within a subsidiary called HPQ Silica Polvere. And that one can also be a standalone company. Basically, if HPQ Silicone didn't have the QRR, didn't have the hydrogen, just that would be enough to support what we have in the company. But there's more than that. So that's what I say.
That's
really
saying something.
Yeah, it's really saying is standalone because, as I've said many, many times, this is a market where these companies that are showing interest, these companies that manufacture this product, okay, realize that there can be a competitor that can come in and make it very, very cheaper. But it's not just a cost. It's the fact we're going to make it greener with less carbon emission. Now, these companies have big goal to reach with regard to carbon reduction. So it fits exactly within what we're saying, that we're a green engineering company, which fundamentally means we find new ways of making the product that everybody uses that are much more environmentally sustainable. So that by itself is a great company, but it's part of the HPQ brand, the HPQ projects. So
we know on the QRR side, the massive competitive advantage there is that there has been a new process in 100 years. What's it like on the Fumed Silica side? You coming in as a new player? How new of a player and a shiny new object is HPQ Silicon? Or are there other companies out there, Georgecom, Fumed Silica, that are barking up the same tree? How does your competitive advantage stand in this sector?
To be honest, I don't think anybody else is working in this part of the wood. I think because this has been a research. Okay, this is what's so big about this news. This has been addressed in research for many, many years. And there was even the University of McGill had a previous patent on it. Now that there's a new patent that we filed on those issues. So this has been known, but it's never been refined to the point where we actually make product that match the commercial concept. Now, it's literally a no-brainer business-wise that if your feedstock is quartz, okay, and you make fumed silica with it, it's great because our competitor starts with quartz to make silicone metal to then go through multiple steps. So people can go, if they want to get the full view on it, should download a new presentation, which is now available on our webpage, and take a look at the differentiation between the two. So that's one thing. In multiple press releases we issued over the last 6 weeks about the Fumed Silica, we demonstrated how much our carbon advantage would translate into economic advantage because of all the carbon taxes. Okay. So, but what we're basically saying today, or what we said yesterday, fundamentally, is that our technology makes the material to the quality that these guys are looking for. According to our analysis. Now, naturally, they're going to go back to them. There's going to be exchange of communication. We might end up tweaking a recipe. I cannot guarantee with 100% certainty at this moment. But what I know at this moment. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Do something.
Well, at this moment.
You know, somebody just called me in the middle of this interview. They didn't know.
That's all right. Hey, listen, I got a Greek band playing behind me, so let's just keep freestyling. So keep going.
We're freestyle. What was I saying? What was I saying? Quickly. The Greek band basically made me
Where I think you're saying where you're going, where we're going.
Where we're going with HPQ Silica Polvere is, oh yeah, we're making the products. We're gonna, we're gonna exchange it to make sure it matches. We feel extremely confident, but we'll wait until we get the feedback from the. You're always gonna wait till the feedback from the buyers, the eventual buyers, or the people who are gonna be interested in the material. What's additionally interesting about this is that in this space of fume silica, not to be confused with silica fume, okay? Silica fume is a byproduct of when you make silicone metal, okay? It's not the same thing as fume silica, absolutely not the same thing. So I know it's very confusing because of time, sometimes you look on Google. So the key point is we're going to do this material. And what there is also, and what I've been discussing with some of our people, is that our technologies can also make cheaper precipitated silica, which is another basically lower quality material, because the fume silica is the highest quality, lower quality material, all right, that is also has a massive volume. So we're very well situated, and we've got this. We'll have very, very soon a pilot plant operating, and this is a project that's financed 66% by the 2 level of government, and they're financing the pilot plant, and then we will start, once we get all those issues, we will start the commercial aspect of it. But I honestly, I would be disappointed if I didn't get either a buyout or a joint venture or some of those type of proposition, or offtake agreement by the time we finish the pilot plant. But then again, once we start making that material, we can start selling it and also generate revenue with this. But that's going to be next year.
Well, you said we got to wait for the feedback, and I know you don't like to give timelines, so I'm not going to ask for a timeline, but I am going to ask you for ballparks, which is, what are you expecting in terms of by the time samples get to the third party, they test, they give you feedback? What does that cycle look like? Weeks, months? Are you able to kind of shed some light on that for us, so we can kind of set a clock in our heads?
I don't want to say, because I might not be allowed to, because remember, we're on an NDA, so I might not be allowed to give the feedback that I get back. I might just be able to give general information.
Okay.
What I can say is what I can fundamentally say is that that feedback is going to go into when we have the pilot plant operating. When we have the pilot plant, we'll have even more material to send. So it's going to be an ever-ending moving process. Also, the point I wanted to say is, if you look in the presentation, we give what is management's opinion of what the timeline, the anticipated timeline of how this should develop and move forward for the next few years. Now, these are that's what they are. They're sort of like our timelines of where the project is, and we do that for every one of our projects. And when that changes, we modify them in our presentation, because we don't issue press release on our timelines, because
all the more reason for everyone to go look at the presentation if they already haven't, because you guys keep putting more and more good work in those presentations. And I actually like the way you give kind of a Gantt chart, how everything should play out. So even more reason for everyone to go watch it.
Yeah, but
go look at it.
Remember, those are not hard targets, okay? And the fact that I have the French word in my mind, that they move, that they change a bit, okay, doesn't mean we're changing the goalposts. We're doing R&D, okay. What's very, very clear is, once we're going to be building a commercial system, it's not R&D, so then the timelines become much stricter. But look, in Montreal, they just started the RM today, okay. That was financed by La Caisse de Dépôt, the biggest engineering firm. A year and a half late, $1 billion more. So it's like,
yeah, and we're in uncharted territory, right? It's not as if you announced you're coming with a brand new pizza and everyone knows how to make pizza and you've got a better pepperoni. We are in uncharted territory. But even with that, even with that X factor,
Mhm.
How confident, how happy are you with the industry feedback you're getting already? And the follow-on question that's going to be, are you expecting more industry feedback in the coming, I don't know, weeks, months? Because
Well,
it sounds like the door's knocking.
Well, yeah, if we talk about other type of university feedback. I just got one of the top university that wanted to participate with us on that project too, and that was before we issued that press release. So it's gonna be moving, but you got to remember, how can I say this is an industry that's controlled by maybe 6, 7, 8 big companies. So there's a limited number of people that are going to come and knock on my doors. There might be smaller people that use fumed silica, all right, because the fumed silica is used in product in Canada and in the US, that might be interested in having a direct suppliers as opposed to having to deal with the big boys of the material. Them also, that could also play into it, but those will be smaller players. Right now, what we have is interest from the big players in that fumed silica space, which is very exciting for us.
Are they a current producer, or are they a big consumer right now that you're talking to?
The people I'm talking to are big producers. But
at the end of the day, is that going to be the better way to go, Bernard, where you become a partner with really big producers rather than you trying to go around them to get to the end customers, which is A, harder, more expensive, let's face it, and B, the big producers won't make it easy, because I know some big producers of other agriculture products who have said, well, if you go buy some of your products from Georgecom, you won't be able to get the rest of them from us. So decide, that's how a lot of times they put the squeeze on. So ultimately, would it be better to be teaming up with the big producers who have the distribution and you don't have to worry about any of that?
We will evaluate what's in the best interest of the shareholders of HPQ. And that's how we're going to take our decision, because, that's all we are. We are shareholders of HPQ. We are interested in getting a return on our investment. We're interested in getting things moving. But I strongly believe, in the sense that, my gut feeling is that this is a technology that's somebody's going to say, says, we can't let these guys be independent too long.
Right. Because we've seen that happen in other big tech industries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to make a comparison, but the fact of the matter is, we know that Yahoo failed to partner with Google. Blockbuster failed to partner with Netflix. And there are many examples like that. So I'm assuming a lot of big companies have learned their lessons about up and coming tech companies, and hopefully that plays into our favor. But you said in your own words that you'd be disappointed if a partnership or joint venture of some kind didn't play out at the end of the day.
I'd be disappointed because, well, it's going to be their loss. It's not going to be mine. It just would be, from a business side, easier to do and to manage and to generate. How can I say, it'd be nice to generate for our investors a quick, good return, which is what that could represent. But if we have to do it, the hard way of developing it and still make the money out of it, we'll make money as long as we make a very decent profit. As I said, I've run internal numbers, all right, on what it represents of just having one small plant doing 2,500 tons per year, which is peanuts in overall size of the market. And the valuation that come up supports the discounted valuation over a 10 years flow, supports our market cap, supports our market cap when it was in 2021. So at least in this project, we've learned something. I've actually learned something on how to market our situation. At one point, I was talking a lot about, what we're going to do with our technology, where we're still at the nascent stage, the beginning stage of the technology. And I had interest, which is exactly what happened in Fume Silica. The first company approached me when we were just beginning at this. When I issued my first press release, they were interested at it. But I didn't talk about it, didn't say anything about it. I'm now talking more about it because A, when I started to talk about it, we had made material that was very, very close to Fume Silica, or was almost there. And B, that actually, then it was the time to sign the NDA with the third party, the party. And C, now is the time for us to talk that we have sample. Now the difference is, that, we could have like, 10, 20 grams. We have enough now to send to at least 3, 4, 5 companies that are interested in taking a look at it. And if there's more interest, we'll just make more. Simple as that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I kind of asked this earlier, but we went on to my follow-on question first. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied? I'm not going to say happy because you don't. How satisfied are you with how the Fume Silica side has moved, and how satisfied should shareholders be? Because listen, at the end of the day, we don't know the Fume Silica business. We take you at your word. We believe in you. We believe in PyroGenesis and everything you guys are doing. But how satisfied are you guys internally with the speed and quality with how you've gotten here today?
Speed. Wouldn't mention too much speed. There was a bit of a tortoise part of it. Okay. But in the last, I would say in the last quarter and a half, things have really started to crank up. For that, I'm very, very happy. And I think now it can speed up and move much faster as we start scaling up the process. But what's very interesting is, as opposed to in silicon metal, which basically the material that comes out of it is known, organized, done. So nobody got really excited that we make 2N, 3N because everybody knows what. It's not that they're not getting excited. That's not what I meant. But it's not the same type of excitement. Okay, that's what I meant. In Fume Silica, it's really been, these guys could become a competitor. In silicon metal, we're going to be a competitor, but we got a little bit of time before they'll become. We'll have to deal with them at a higher level. This one is, we have to take a look at this now. In the silicone business, I believe that as we do our battery initiative that we're working on, I've announced also not long ago, with the addition of Monsieur Rival, which we talked about, the same event is going to come. Exactly the same event. It's on its way. It's ongoing. So I'm sorry if I confuse people by thinking that QRR is not the same thing. It is the same thing. It's just the speed of development is going to be faster with the Fume Silica.
Hey, I don't think anyone's going to complain because we're not a one-trick pony. And I know in the past you've messed up that phrase a couple of times, but you're not a one-trick pony at the end of the day. So I don't think very many people are going to complain if one of the 3 legs is developing faster or slower than the other ones. I think it's just great, personally speaking, that we've got 3 solid irons in the fire at the end of the day. Multiple irons in the fire.
Yep.
Last word to you, Bernard. Anything I haven't asked you? Should I be celebrating with some shots of ouzo tonight? Is that a good idea to have a small celebratory shot based on this news and how happy you are?
If you feel like having it, I'm going to go relax a bit over the weekend, but I still got more work to do. It never stops. It never stops. What everything we have to do.
It's almost midnight here, but
so how long are you on vacation for?
I will be back in mid-August, but I'm working from here. Look, it's Friday. Down below me, the family and the cousins are having their dessert and drinks. But I said, guys, I got to go up and talk to Bernard. So we're never more than one Zoom link away, my friend. And I'm going to say it. I think I speak on behalf of 98% of the shareholders. Keep the good work going. Every time you put out news, 2023 has been a really special year so far, and watching everything accelerate and really get to the next level. And it's only the end of July, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen going forward, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll see each other again.
Before I come home from vacation or after?
I'm not allowed to say that.
I like your little tidbits that you leave, but congratulations, my friend. And to everyone at home, you've been watching or you've been listening to my podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform. To Bernard Tourillon, CEO of HPQ Silicon. For those new to the story, because you saw this headline, you figure, hey, who is this company that's now getting ready to send out samples to third parties? Go take a look at the company's profile page on the Agoracom, because this is all brand new. It is uncharted territory, multiple legs to this company. So you need a good layman's overview. And when you've got that, what are you going to do? You're going to go watch the presentation. You're going to go read the presentation that the company so hard on. You keep updating it, so the latest updated version is there. and at that point, do your own due diligence. But thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you all next time. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.